Let me do a formal introduction. On behalf of Mayor Segarra, you'll be hearing from him in a minute, Council President Sean Wooden, and my colleagues here assembled. I'd like to thank you for coming out to this rally. This is an important rally, and it's a rally that shows that a lot of people care what goes on in our community. We have parents here, we have dignitaries here, we have people from the education community here, we have philanthropists here, we have community leaders, civic people who are engaged.
We stand together speaking out against senseless violence that is really impacting our community in a way that is not needed. But we need to work harder to create those options for members of our community who oftentimes lose hope and think that there is no other way to go than to allow violence. Government's not going to do it alone, church is not going to do it alone, but if we all band together, I know that we can do this. I know that we can do this.
But this neighborhood has a 49% unemployment rate. Every day I get boys to come by and say, "Lady, you got a job for me? Anything, I'll do anything. I don't care what it is." This didn't happen overnight, and now the chickens have come home to roost.
Come on! Come on!
We need the city, the state, to bring some money in this community for these young men to get jobs.
And then my state friends came, Canadian State Police, the Department of Correction, all realizing that they want to help and they want to be part of the reclamation of this city and free it from bonds of violence. Because that's what we're stuck in, the bonds of violence. And I watch crime all over the country, not just Hartford, not just Connecticut, but all over the country. And you know what? I'm not seeing these relationships that we have amongst each other, amongst our city leaders, amongst your police department. I don't see that around the country. Before anything happens in the city, I see the community leaders, I see the pastors, I see the folks that are invested into saving this city and making it what she could be.
We're gonna let nobody take control of what's ours. This belongs to us. It's time to stand up. Don't be the mother to say, "Oh, my child is a good child. Oh, whoa, whoa," and then when something happened, he was a good boy. No, you knew he was out there selling drugs. You knew what he was doing. Let's get real and stay real. It's time to take the streets back, y'all.
When I was a child, I wanted to be a police officer, a firefighter, or a teacher. How many of you didn't have those dreams when you were coming out? So now what we're doing, we're rearing our children to say, "I hate the police." Why do you hate the police? Because they have a badge and that's a career they chose? What we need to do as a community is to bond with the police and inform our children that we need these officers, because if we continue to tell our children, "I hate the police," when something happens to them, they're going to be afraid to go to the police.
One day my son said to me, "Daddy, I want to be just like you." You know, you know what that does say, Dad? Oh man, you think my head is big now? It just swelled up 3 times its size. But my son can't be like me now. Because on October 20th, 2012, an assassin bullet entered his back and had a field day with his arteries and his heart and his liver. And he died in the yard that he played in as a toddler.
You know, so I'm here to tell you that the only way Hartford ever gonna be any place safe is we really need to start conversing among each other and start telling what we know and what we see. If you see somebody put a gun to somebody's head, you should be able to say, "I'm calling the police." And if you can't call the police, call Reverend Brown. I'll tell you right now, it'll get done. But just don't stand there and let these people that are killing up people on our streets stay on these streets. They are not your friend. They don't love you. And the only reason they're out here because they know that they're out here because you let them be out here.
You offend us if you go back home from this rally and not get behind the mayor and the city council to get the dollars that we need to effect the change that we deserve. You offend us if you don't go to the governor's mansion We go to this governor's office and the legislator and say, do something. Don't get it twisted. You are in the 06120. You're in the 06120. Where the poorest of citizens live. Where hope can't survive. We're living in an existence of hopelessness. And you come out here and rally for what? Rally for our lives. Rally for our lives. Speak up for our lives. Stand up for our lives.